West World, it's your boy Young YC Young Cal coming straight at y'all with another special edition of Squadcast, directly broadcasting from Projector Space LA. And of course, I got the queen herself, my co-host.
Yes, that's right. It's RX up in here, Westside Compton shit. We up in here with Projector Space LA. You feel me? It ain't about me tonight, you know. We got a very special guest tonight.
That's
somebody
all about
else.
you. Knock it off. It's
As a
your
matter of
birthday.
fact, yes.
Oh my God.
Happy birthday to you.
Yep.
You know, somebody's coming up just off of their birthday. So we definitely want to acknowledge that. The queen herself. Happy birthday to you.
Y'all are so sweet. Oh my God. Thank y'all so much.
It was only right. And I'm pretty sure you already know what that is by now.
I'm so grateful for y'all. Oh my God.
So get right.
Cheers.
They're not paying me to show this, so I'm not gonna show it.
That's
So
fine.
Give me
right.
that check though.
So get right.
You know, but it's only
Stop
we had to
it.
go
Are
full
y'all
throttle with
serious?
it.
Oh my God. I love y'all. Thank y'all so much. Oh my God.
Hey, hurry up, because I'm finna eat one of them Reese's.
Yeah, I
so,
know,
man.
right? Oh my God. This
You know,
is so dope right now. I love
Yeah, she had a
y'all.
long weekend at that. I don't know how many
It
candles
was
you
from-
put out
yeah, it
already.
was from Friday to yesterday, low key still today. I was turning up nonstop. You feel me? It was a good fucking weekend. Like, yeah, I'm still just super happy. I'm even more happy now. Like, I didn't get no cake for my birthday, so this is like
You did? Okay,
real
well,
special for me right now.
Let it come full circle. Go ahead.
Okay. Thank
Yeah.
you so much. Thank y'all. I'm so grateful.
Yes, sir.
This is gonna be a blessed year for you. And yes, of course.
Yes, I believe so. I feel good.
Yeah,
Like, you can't put candy in front of
no,
nothing like
you
that.
won't. Yeah.
Like, I'll be eating
That'll
that shit
be
the whole
gone.
interview.
You know,
Oh my
and so
God.
of course we have the owner, the CEO of Projector Space himself.
Yes,
It's only
yes.
right, you know, that we have him in the guest chair today, Mr. Taje, the hood therapist himself.
Yes.
What's up, y'all?
How you feeling, big brother?
Oh, man, I'm good. Blessed.
You know, thank you for joining us today, and you know, thank you for allowing, you know, opening your home to us. You know what I
Man,
mean? For
please,
allowing us.
this
to,
is all y'all home. This is all our shit, bro.
Yes,
You
sir.
know,
yes,
this
sir.
is what it is.
He's so humble. How did you not like this guy? He's so humble. Oh my God.
Absolutely. And you know, there was a picture that I believe you had posted recently of you and him. Like I believe it was the first time you had stepped in here.
Oh, yeah, the
my
Spider-Man.
God.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You both looked at each other
Literally,
like
you have no idea. Like that picture sums up like my first time meeting you for
sure.
real. Like just like hearing you talk, I was like, dang, like I talk just like that.
Yeah, for
Oh
sure.
shit, we both from Compton. Oh shit, we
Yeah.
both, you know,
We both therapists.
yeah, both
Facts.
therapists. Like we
Yes.
both
And people
like
don't know that
black
shit.
and brown.
You
Like
know what I'm saying?
it's just like so many like different levels. Even like you, like your government name, my government name, like how like everything. Like it's so crazy. I was
Crazy.
like, yo, like this is like parallel universe shit. You know
Meant
what
to
I'm
be.
saying? Shout out to Danny Myers.
Nah.
Like, oh God, that's how I felt. So that picture sums up how I felt when I met you.
Yeah, no, likewise.
Mm-hmm.
It was kind of like, it's refreshing when you know, and it's also like, what they call it gives you like inspiration or motivation that you're doing the right thing, because it's like, oh, there's
Yes.
somebody else out here that's like that, because
Right.
you know, coming from the circles that we come from, it's like it's far and few between, you know what I'm saying?
Uh-huh.
And I don't mean as far as like, you know, any type of intelligence or nothing like that, 'cause
Right,
there's
right. No,
intelligent
no.
people all through the hood,
Of
but I mean
course.
as far as like that good, get the degrees,
Right.
and like go to that, you're really a
Yes,
therapist. You're not just,
right.
she's a crazy, you know what she do in the battle, in the
Yeah.
battle ring, you know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
yeah, you know.
You know,
Bar
but
queen.
a lot of people don't know the other side of it, and it's
Uh-huh.
very impressive, you know what I'm saying? And I know
Yes.
it's hard work because I did it, you know what I'm saying? So
Exactly.
congratulations to you on that.
Thank you, and congratulations to you as well. You are such an inspiration to me because I see you further your career and you know, therapy and also your education even more. Like I've always wanted to get my doctorate. Let's say, you know, take some of these loans off, I will go back. But holla at me, Biden. But yeah, like I really want to do that. I just see you doing it, and it's like how you just said right now, like the circles that you know I come from in my section up in Compton. I'm from the West Side.
Right.
Like I don't really know that many people that you know went to college, got degrees, and all
Yeah.
you know stuff like that. Most of my niggas died before they was even 21.
Yeah.
To be honest with you, most of my friends is in prison. Like to be that one person, it's like damn, like I feel like a fucking unicorn. And then you see somebody else and that's like from the same circumstances, at the same background,
crazy.
like. It's like, dang, like I'm not alone. So yeah, so thank you.
No, for
Yeah.
sure, likewise. You know what I mean? I'm
Yeah.
just, you know, I'm just blessed to be here with y'all, and
Yeah, same.
you know,
thank you for having us. What especially both of y'all coming from Compton, what would y'all say is like the biggest inspiration and motivator for y'all to go against the stereotype of like how, you know, of course, what media and movies would make us think that the average person of Compton is? Like, what inspires y'all to like go against that and, you know, try to be more, so much more than what, you know, what is offered to y'all? Like, what inspired y'all to go into mental health? What
Ladies
y'all
first.
say?
Oh God. Okay, so what inspired me to go into mental health, like, okay, so when I was I started college young, right? I was like 17 years old when I graduated high school.
No.
Yeah,
And
likewise,
then
me too. Yep.
I wanted to act like I was doing something important with my life so my dad don't get mad at me. Because I was up in the streets a lot. I had warrants out for my arrest. I was just really, really, really like not living, you know, that good of a life. I was just in the streets. I was just, you know, product of my environment type shit. And I just wanted to act like I was doing something for real. And then I started going to school and I took a psychology class because I originally went to school for journalism. I wanted to be like a news anchor. I wanted to go to the hood and like report what's happening in the hood and shit. Like I always wanted to do that, right? So I took a psychology class and I just fell in love with it. And I just asked a teacher after the class and I was like, hey, like you're a therapist. Like I want to be a therapist also. Like how long does it take? And he was like, oh, it take this many years. You got to go through this. You got to do that. And I just remember walking outside. I looked up to the sky and I was just like, I got a better chance of touching the sky. Like I know I can't do that shit. I just felt so much self-doubt. Right. And you know, like the circumstances that I come from and, you know, single parent household and, you know, just like, you know, like a product of the environment and stuff like that. But, you know, I ended up going to private school and like my classes were very like small because I couldn't concentrate in like a public school setting, like 50 kids. Like I couldn't do that shit. So I went to like private school, like, you know, I got pregnant and all that right there. I had a lot of stuff going on. And then that right there was my motivation. Like, I have to finish. I have to keep going. Like, and also these student loans ain't gonna let up off my neck if I don't finish. So I gotta finish because I got student loans. So it was just like so much pressure on me. Like, you know, my family didn't believe in me. People just doubted me. My friends didn't even know that. My friends didn't even believe me when I told them that I was in school because I was in the hood all day. They was like, nigga, how you getting degrees and you up over here with us all day? Nigga, you lying. And I showed them my degree and they were like, that's a Mexican girl name. Who the fuck is this? Like, it was something crazy as shit, right? So, so once I finished one degree, I went straight to my next degree and then I finished that. And I was just like, yo, like I just accomplished so fucking much in like the span of like 6 years, going to school year round. We didn't get a break because it was private school. So yeah, it was just like, you know, I wanted to just do it just to like prove to my family and my father that I'm not just out here bullshitting with my life. Right. And then it turned into something way more than that, more than just proving it to my family. Like I proved it to myself, I proved it to my environment, I proved it to the white man. You know what I'm saying? Like I proved it to everybody. And I still feel like I still have more ladder to climb in education. It's like, you know, be more educated. Like I want to be like a doctor. So they call me Dr. Castillo, you know? So yeah.
You gonna do it?
Yes, I have faith
That's
in
what
myself.
you gotta say. You gotta say I'm going to.
I'm going to.
Hey, how complete would that be? Dr. RX.
Yeah, I know, right? Sure.
Wow,
Everybody gotta call me doctor.
Everybody
gotta call me doctor.
For
Yeah.
sure. So that's real.
How about you, big bro?
Oh man, yeah, I think it was a lifetime of things. Coming, like I said, coming from similar backgrounds, literally like down the street.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And what's crazy about that city is like, you know, yeah, it's a lot of gangs and stuff, but it's like at the end of the day, it's like it's all the same. You know what I'm saying? It's like we all deal with the same stuff. But it was a lifetime of things for me. Like I had the gift of I've lived in like ghettos from coast to coast, bro. You know what I'm saying? I've lived all over LA. You know what I'm saying? I've lived in other states. You know what I'm saying? You know, I lived in New Jersey for a minute. You know what I'm saying? For like a year or two, because my pop side of the family's from the East Coast. Right. You know what I'm saying? You know, it's that whole like Puerto Rican thing. They all out there. And I went out there for like a year or two, and it was just I just saw it was like the same. I mean, obviously things are different because you know it's a different place. They move different, things like that. You know what I'm saying? But they was dealing with the same shit, same mentality, same attitude. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, and as I got older and knowing that, I was kind of like, man, it's like we all going through the same stuff, you know. And I just started seeing commonalities and things, you know, even before I went to like college. Because in high school, I sucked at school.
Right.
Like I barely graduated, bro. Like
you and I both.
I know, right?
Like I barely went. You know what I
Same.
mean?
I never went to school.
I barely went to school, you know, and it wasn't because I couldn't do it. I just don't think I was interested
Right.
at the time. You know what I mean?
Same exact thing for me. That's so crazy.
I wasn't interested in it at the time, but always had a flair for knowledge, though. I was a heavy reader. Like even in high school, I was a heavy reader. You know, I like to surprise the teachers when I be in class because I'm not doing no homework or nothing like that, so they think I'm stupid, and I'm sitting there like I might know more than them about
Self-taught,
something. You know what I mean?
you
So
know.
I always had a flair for that. So all that came together when man, there's so much that happened in between there, but I'm gonna fast forward. I'm gonna give you the short story of it. So after living a life of being in the streets for, you know, I've been in the streets since I was 12 years old, bro.
Right.
You know what I mean? I jumped off the porch hella early with this shit. You know what I mean? In the streets, making money, all that since before I was a teenager. Catching cases. I caught my first case at 12. You know, so after a lifetime of that, you know, I had my my two sons. Feel me? And shortly after I had my two sons, I caught a big case. Like, you know, one of them cases that, you know, you get convicted, you ain't coming back. You know what I'm saying? And it was a weapons charge. You feel me? And then something came along with that weapon. You feel what I'm saying? And to keep it real, I didn't do what they was trying to say that I did. But they had a little eye for me, you know, because I'm smart. You know what I mean? I was getting away with a lot. You know what I mean? I was always a smart criminal at the end of the day. So I had a target on my back. You know what I mean? And the way all the facts, it was ironic because the way all the facts of the case matched up, like, sorry about that. So the way the case matched up with like my life was crazy. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it was like a homicide that had happened in a recording studio. Feel what I'm saying? And at that time, you know, for people that's been paying attention to me for a while, you know, I was doing music for a while. You know what I mean? And I did pretty well. You know what I mean? Had a nice little buzz going on as far as in the underground scene, especially like in LA. Right. You know what I mean? So
Series.
The Hot Box series, you know, got in all the magazines, you know, I had a lot of love from the mixtape DJs and you know, I was working with all the best artists on the planet pretty much, you know what I'm saying? And in the midst of all that, that's when that happened. So it just matched. Like, oh yeah, it happened at a recording studio. You got caught with some shit. Yeah, we know you did that shit. Like, it's gonna match up. I knew I didn't do it though. So, but you know, they gave me the whole 9. You know, I still had to fight that shit. I was in the county. Right. You know what I'm saying? For a minute, and they was giving me all the bullshit. Like, you know, you ain't gonna see the light of day. You know, they was trying to get me to tell all that. You feel me? And I was just like, I ain't got nothing to say, man. Like, you take me to my cell, give me to my lawyer. I don't got nothing to talk about at all. I would say that before they would even ask me.
Of course.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't even gotta ask me if I'm gonna talk. I don't want to talk to y'all. I'm good. You know what I mean? And that's where I was out there. So, in the midst of all of that, I started questioning things. Like, and it's a big reason I made the switch that I did, as far as not just with the education, but just in life, as far as even with the music shit. Like, I was getting in as much trouble with the music as I was before the music. You know what I'm saying? Like, and everybody that, it's crazy because I was getting this reputation of like on some bully shit. You feel me?
In the game, yeah.
You know, and like anybody that knows me, like really knows me, knows that I'm so not that bully. Like, I'm not. Like, I'm one of the nicest, coolest people. Like, I'm goofy. I'm a geek sometimes. Like, I don't be tripping. You feel me? And that's probably why I was getting so offended when people would come try to start shit with me. Because I'd be like, yo, I'm not doing none of y'all, you know what I'm saying? So why y'all hating on me for? Like, what's the problem? And I would get mad, you know what I mean? And instead, at that time, I didn't understand rap beef. Like, I didn't get it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like, oh, this nigga talking that shit. Oh, well, this is where he doing his next show? All right, well, I'm finna come see you.
I'm about to pull up.
And I had a bunch of homies who felt like I felt. And it was just, you know? So, anyways, that got, you know, I was getting as much shit and I was sitting in that jail, and it's crazy because I had a bunch of people trying to bail me out. You know, the mothers of my children was trying to bail me out. I had some homies that was trying to bail me out, and I told them, don't bail me out. You know, I was like, don't bail me out, and they thought I was crazy.
Yeah, you do sound crazy, nigga. The soup ain't that good up in there.
Yeah, they was like, yeah, they didn't get it. You know what I'm saying? And I was telling the mothers of my children, I was like, you know, I wanted them to save whatever money that I had, you know, saved up because I didn't know what was going to happen, you know, and I didn't want to spend that on bail, you know what I mean, and just be out here with nothing basically, or, you know, being short at the time. But the reason why I was saying that was because I had to set a prayer in jail. And I came to, like, I don't know, a moment of clarity. And I was just like, whatever's about to happen, if I'm not going to get out of this, or whatever's about to happen, even though I didn't do it, I didn't do what they were saying I did. And I thanked God for being here.
I say.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I thank God. I swear that's a true story. I thank God for being there because I was like, you know what? It's something that you want me to be here for. So either I'm supposed to learn something or I'm supposed to help somebody with something up in here. That's why I'm here. And I'm not finna question it. I'm finna just go with it. Whatever. I'm ready.
That's a really strong and positive outlook to have, because some people are gonna be like, "Bitch, bail me out right the fuck now.
what
I
I'm
ain't
saying?
staying up in here, nigga."
Yeah,
like,
average
but
person
for you
would.
to like think that and like say that prayer for real, like that right there is really powerful. So it was after all this right here.
That's when
you went to school.
Yeah, well, they bailed me out anyway.
See, I was about to say I'd have done it too. I'd have
I
probably
know, I
bet you out
would've
even
been like,
after he
nigga,
told
okay,
I was
me.
you
mad.
funny.
I
You
was
about to
low-key
come
mad.
on.
I
I
walked
need to.
outside and I was hot. I was like, man, what the hell? I told y'all don't bail me out. You know, but yeah, but it ended up helping me. Anybody that has dealt with the criminal system knows that it's better to fight those kinds of cases when you out
Absolutely.
than it is when you locked up. So,
For sure.
you know what I mean? Shouts out to them. You know what I'm saying? But in the midst of all that, I was like, I wanted to change something. I wasn't really, even though I was doing well with the music, I wasn't happy doing it. And see, I got into music because I really liked doing it. You know what I'm saying? And when I was getting bogged down by the politics, the negative attention, everything that was going on, the hater shit, you know, see, even some of my own people, like some of my own homies, you know what I'm saying? Like, I was just like, my soul just wasn't there with it, you know what I'm saying? So I was like, you know what, I'm about to go to school.
Yeah, that's one thing we both found. We both found out there's a lot of demons in the game. You know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
But I only asked that question to the both of y'all because the fact of the matter is, being around y'all, one thing that I learned is pressure creates diamonds.
Right.
You know what I mean? And that's exactly, you know, perfect examples. You know, why do you guys think that it like, and this is especially in modern day, like, of course, people are starting to realize how important mental health has always been and how significant it really it plays in all of our everyday lives. You know, why do you think it's taken this long for people to finally come to the realization? And what's y'all opinion on the fake woke? You know what I mean? People that pretend that they think they know how important it is, like how it's become a trend to them.
Yeah, that's a good question. You mind if I take this one?
Yeah, I want you to go
For
first.
sure.
Yeah.
I used to get really upset about. I'm gonna answer your second question
Okay.
first. I used to get really upset about like seeing that because I think it's the God in me that hates that fake shit.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like the false prophet shit. You know what I'm saying? You know, and it could go either way. Either people that's really not about that, or the people that play like they're too good. You know what I'm saying? Because I never try to do that. I'm human just like everybody else. I make mistakes. You feel me? But it used to really like bother me when I would see people like kind of targeted for money, for just money. And trust me, there's nothing wrong with getting money to help people. I always say that. Like, people should get paid to help people. That's the best job you can have, is to help people. Why not get paid?
Agreed.
Right? But like one of the things, like when I met her, you know, and we started clicking, like I knew it was genuine. You know,
Right.
it wasn't a play for, like, some people just want to be famous.
Right.
And they couldn't get famous rapping, or they couldn't get famous doing whatever they was doing.
Right.
So they were like, you know what? This is popping right here. So I'm gonna jump on that shit just because I know it's gonna give me some views. I don't
We've
care.
all
I don't
seen
care
it.
about none of that.
Yep.
You know, I don't care about what the culture. I don't care about none of it. I'm just gonna just say this shit so y'all can look at me, and then I'm gonna have these little, you know, I'm gonna give you my product in the midst of all that. You know, on some business shit, I don't knock it. You know, I get it. You feel me? But yeah, it bothered me. But as I matured a little bit, and I was just like, you know what? If the message that they're saying is good and it touches somebody, I don't care where they coming from with it at the end of the day, because you know the good can use the bad for good.
Yep.
True.
You know what I'm saying? So It doesn't really bother me like that. And as far as like why it took so long to like see like they should be doing this type,
Right. To heal and how important healing is.
it's still they haven't seen that they supposed to get it yet. So we still waiting on everybody. That's why we doing this. You know what I'm saying? At least from my side.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I think that we have to understand that we're links in a chain. As far as the people, black and brown, like it took us a long time to get into these problems.
Right.
You know, it's
Absolutely.
generational trauma, just year after year, generation after generation. It's gonna take more than one generation for us to like change this.
Absolutely.
You know,
Yep.
and you have to be okay with the fact that you probably not gonna be here to see the change that you pushing.
You just
And
gonna
I
leave a
came to
foot-
grips with that.
Just
you know
leave a
what I'm saying?
footprint at least at that. Like,
Yeah,
shit,
or
like,
just a link in the chain. You got to pass down the information. We got to reverse it. Like I looked at generational trauma and I reverse engineered it. And I was like, okay, you know what? It's a chain that links us all, and it's a link of trauma. It's a chain of trauma that links us to the ancestors. Feel me?
Yes, sir.
So now we got to start a link of healing, and it's gonna be the same thing. We got to pass it generation to generation to generation to generation to generation until we get there, you know. And a lot of people make that mistake where they're like, well, I'm doing all this shit and I want to see the change now. You need to see the change in that one person that you
Right.
help.
True story.
And
yeah.
the changing yourself also, like that's
Exactly.
where the true change starts. To answer your question, I'm gonna also answer the second half of it. I have like a 2-pronged answer to that right there about fake woke people
Yeah.
and stuff like that. And I'm gonna say first and foremost, the most fake woke person that you could think of business wise is these big corporations and these big, you know, the criminal justice system
Yeah,
and all these different things like that right there,
For sure.
who are mislabeling people, the education system also mislabeling people to diagnose them, to get money from the government and say, oh, this kid right here has all these disorders, let's give
Oh,
him
yeah.
medication and stuff like that. To me,
good
that's
point.
fake woke. To
Yeah,
me,
that's
that's
good.
wrong.
Yeah,
You know what
that's
I'm
dope.
saying? I've
Yeah.
blown the whistle on multiple jobs that I've had because of things like that. I work at a job right now, and I do like assessments, you know what I'm saying, for these kids to diagnose them. And it was a 3-year-old, and he just like kept crying every time you show him a picture of the bathroom. So then they were like, oh, he has oppositional defiant disorder. And I'm like,
No,
he has
trauma,
PTSD. Like, what are y'all talking about? He's 3. Like, what are y'all talking about? It was like it's like they just want to diagnose these kids with just whatever the fuck, right? So I have a problem with that. I think that right there is wrong. Morally speaking, like speaking for like humanity for humanity is wrong. We can't do stuff like that. We can't misdiagnose children and put them on medication, or adults for that matter, or whoever. Okay.
Absolutely.
The other prong of the answer would be the people, you know, in society, like what Taje just said, like, you know, oh, that's popping right now. Let me act like, you know what I'm saying, I'm down with that right there. And they get on the camera and want to call everybody a narcissist. Like,
Yeah.
everybody a narcissist these days. Everybody got antisocial, whatever the fuck. Like, I hate it when people, let me not say hate. I just strongly dislike it when people utilize these types of terms to label somebody something and they don't have no education behind it at all. And they just want to, you know, make money off of it. But I feel like whatever is fake is not going to outlast the real. So if they going to be fake on some fake shit, it ain't going to last too long.
It's
Yeah,
gonna
you
show.
can't, because when the real come around, the fake going to crumble. So, you know what I'm saying? But
especially in this shit.
oh, right,
Because,
right,
like,
exactly.
The hardest thing to do is push positivity.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It take a gangster to do this, because like it's easy to get on here and just, if I wanted to just diss somebody and say some stupid shit or just that would get views, like,
That's easy. Yeah.
because people just want to see ignorance, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I fall victim to that. I had just said that. I watch all that shit. You know,
It draws,
But
yeah.
my saving grace in that is that I also watch things that can help me as well. I'm not like one sided. You know, I don't see nothing wrong with the entertainment factor of it, but to push positivity is difficult.
Very much so.
You have to make it appealing, cool, all of that, because that's what you're competing against. You're competing against all that, you know,
Find the
all
balance
the
in between.
crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what I mean. So if you in this, like she said, you know, you might have a few that fake that breakthrough. That's just, it happens. You feel me? But for the most part, it's hard pushing positivity. Or stay where you at if you ain't about this.
Absolutely.
Right,
But
exactly.
I think you hit the nail right on the head as far as, you know, it's the real that's going to last. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
exactly.
That's
what I
asked
think.
y'all that question because
So.
I think the only way that anyone's ever going to truly, you know what I mean, stick around is just through authenticity. Everyone's trying to, people can tell when it's, someone's fake being fake positive. You know what I mean? That's just we've seen it all too much, you know what I mean?
Right.
So I think authenticity is probably just the key as far as anybody, if you're trying to heal somebody or
Right.
you're trying to reach somebody,
Right.
is like that person's going to know if you're being real with them or not, or if you're just doing it, just because like it's the thing to do, like you said.
Right,
Let me
try
hop
to,
on
like,
this.
it's like a fad. It's just like the thing to do for now. Next,
Yeah.
in 5 years, they're gonna be on a whole different wave. You know what I'm saying? But also like what Taje says about how, like generational trauma and how we have to like reverse it. And there are ways of doing that, obviously, because if something was, turned one way, it can be turned back the other way. But I feel like the awareness is not there all the time, because you talk to most people, they're not going to know what generational trauma is. They're not going to know anything about that, or generational healing. You know what I'm saying? Like that's why I'm always pushing for like healing modalities. Like I believe like my culture, like Native American culture, we believe that once you heal 7 generations back and 7 generations ahead.
Yeah.
And there are different practices, modalities, medicine, sacred medicines.
Absolutely.
They call it like sagradas medicinas, like that we do to heal. You know what I'm saying? Like go like ceremonies and stuff like that. Like I do all of that. I was doing it this weekend, but it's like we have to focus on the healing aspect. Like yeah, motherfuckers gonna be fake. Yeah, people finna be doing some bullshit, but like,
Absolutely.
what are we doing?
Right.
What are we doing to heal ourselves, to heal our community, to heal like humanity? Like and like what Taje says again. We're not gonna see the fruits of the labor all the time. You know what I'm saying? Like Moses didn't get
Most
to
of
the
the
promised
time,
land,
yeah,
so it's like
they don't know that part of the story,
we
you
might
know?
not see everything,
Yeah.
but what we do is so important. The legacy that we leave behind is so important. There's gonna be other people that see your work, Taje, and they're gonna be like, okay, I gotta pick up where he left off. Okay, I gotta help him. I gotta further his message or whatever. Like you know what I'm saying? Like I'm not like it's like FOI or anything like that, but I think about like Elijah Muhammad and like the impact that he left, and so many people who like like scholars who come from his teachings and stuff like that. Louis Farrakhan, people like that. Like Louis Farrakhan, he's older. The other dude died or whatever, but there are people out here who are still hanging on to that message, and we have to be those people at the salt of the earth, to where we're putting out a positive message, and people are being healed from it and changing their lives for the better.
It's the only way. I mean, it's the only way we're gonna do anything. A lot of people sit and wait for like laws to pass, or legislation, or we got to learn politics. They'll say all these things, and it's true. You know what I mean? But it's kind of like putting the cart before the horse. Like we're not at a level right now. Like to take advantage of the instruments that we could use in politics, we got to be all together. You know what I'm saying?
Strength in numbers.
Yeah,
Amen.
and the only way that we can do that is to heal the mind.
Absolutely.
And that's why I chose psychology, because I knew that it's a mental thing that we got to fix first before we start,
That's the root of it
moving
all.
forward with all this other stuff. Because moving forward, before we heal ourselves, they have a blueprint to how they deal with us when we become threats.
Yep.
And if you look at it, it's always the same. You feel me?
Yep.
Most of the time, they're gonna pay somebody that looks just like you. Feel me? Might be your homie, family member, whatever. They're gonna
Never know.
infiltrate, and they're gonna pay somebody who don't care about none of this. They just want to get their dough, because they've been going through trauma and they coming from some shit. You feel me? And that's the blueprint. You feel me? And so they're taking advantage of the trauma. It's the trauma. Sometimes people just fucked up. I ain't gonna lie. Like, so if you just a fucked up person,
Oh, yeah.
you just a fucked up person.
Yeah.
Period. Black, white, Mexican, Puerto Rican, whatever. You feel me?
It is in every culture.
But it takes a special type of person to infiltrate and act the part.
Yes.
They know what's up. You know what I mean? So the only way you're gonna fight that is to reach those people. You feel me? Or change that. You got to start reversing that trauma.
Absolutely.
Otherwise, they're gonna just come with the same
That's
blueprint
where it
Oh
starts.
yeah.
every time.
And
That's,
motherfuckers gonna be sitting ducks every time.
Every
Like
time.
we ain't wised up right now. Y'all saw what happened in the '60s.
Yeah.
Y'all saw what happened with COINTELPRO.
Study-
Like, come
study.
on now, man. Like we all saw what happened. We all saw the infiltration.
Absolutely.
With all that shit, like it's been played over every fucking decade. Like we have to wake the fuck up,
Yeah.
and I think that a lot of that right there is people just gaining knowledge and gaining information. You don't got to go to college to get knowledge. You
Not
know
at
what
all.
I'm saying? Like you could just do that right there on some self-taught shit. Like I know so many dudes who never been in college a day in their life, but they are like the smartest people I know. Like they read
yeah.
deep books, and they're very deep thinkers, and they could you know what I'm saying, like decipher between the truth, the fake shit, the this or that. Like it's not about college all the time.
Nah,
It's
hell
about
no.
educating yourself. So that's how I always tell people, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, whatever it is that you're doing in life that isn't serving your highest good, just start, like, stepping away from that and incorporating new positive things into your life to gain more knowledge and more wisdom, because
Absolutely.
we can't be sitting ducks out here forever. Think about your kids. Think about, 2 generations from now, like, where we going to be at if we don't take initiative. We got to do something.
Nah, for sure. And it's like, it's different things that we got to work on. You know what I'm saying? Once we get the mental right, then we got to
yeah.
now we got to start learning the information.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? So it's like, financial literacy, things like that. You know what I'm saying? It's like, this conversation reminds me of the last conversation I had with Nick.
I knew you were finna say that.
Yeah.
I knew you were finna say that.
My mama.
Yep, it fits. It's germane to the conversation.
Like the last conversation I had with Nick was on some, like, we was talking about that, like, cause he was like, yo, you was like, you doing the same thing I'm doing. It's just we just spreading different type of knowledge. You know what I'm saying? And it's all needed. You feel me?
Very much so.
And that's like, to her point, Nip's a good example of somebody that didn't go to school. I don't even think he finished high school. You know what I'm saying? If I'm not mistaken. Feel me? So that's why I say it's geniuses all through the hood.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it's geniuses all through the hood. If you look at some of the things we do, you know what I'm saying? Like, I was working a triple balance beam, like, hella young. I knew what 28 grams was.
Little
Quick,
did you know.
know what I'm saying? Like, I knew all that shit, 0.5, you know what I'm saying?
Little did you know how
1.0.
math literate you actually
You
were.
know?
Right, exactly.
I was like, oh, you know what? Oh, he want a fast sack, give him a 1.5. That's, that's 90 shit. You feel me? But, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, like, that takes intellect.
Absolutely.
It does.
You know?
If you can run a drug business, you can run a
You
legit
involve
business.
real
That's how I
business.
tell you, get that legit
Legitimate
money out
business.
here.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And it goes back to why we have to take psychology serious, and we got to be, like, proactive. Like, they got to start teaching this shit in schools, like basic shit. You know what I mean? Like, how to emotionally regulate, how to calm themselves down. Like, you could teach kids all that, because we teach them all the wrong shit.
Yeah.
Why we can't teach them the right shit?
Yeah, school be like baby prison for real.
Yeah, they
Like,
not.
as institutionalization shit.
It's punishment. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
It's like, oh well, if you don't do what I say, I'm gonna take this from you. You know what I'm saying? Or I'm gonna
Go
whatever.
Detention and suspension and
Yeah, we're
all
not
that
teaching
shit right
them
there.
what to do with their emotions. You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
Hawk was saying this when he was 17 years old.
Yeah, exactly. And it's proven ways of doing that. They just don't tell certain people. You know what I'm saying? So it's up to people like us that do, take the time to go get the education to implement that shit, because hypervigilance, like, when we live in a constant state of hypervigilance, and hypervigilance, for people that don't know, is like paranoia, basically.
Exactly.
Like, you know what I'm saying? When you basically shook, you know what I mean? And you're ready for shit at any time. That makes your heart race. That makes, your sympathetic nervous system starts to tripping. Heart rate go up, blood pressure go up.
Yeah.
You get into what they call fight or flight. Now, fight or flight is not meant to stay. It's supposed to only be used in situations where you're running from some kind of danger, or you're facing some kind of danger. That's the only time, that's supposed to happen.
But a lot of us wake up and go to sleep like that.
We go to sleep
Right.
like that, and we don't understand how it affects other things. I always make this comparison about, like, your brain works like a smartphone. If you turn, when you want to do energy saver,
Yeah.
you put it on that function, and there's gonna be a lot of shit that you can't do on that phone because it's saving power for it to just stay on. Feel me? You're not gonna be able to go on the internet. You're not gonna be able to do certain shit when you're in energy saver mode on your phone.
Right.
Now, the brain works just like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you're in a constant state of hypervigilance, there's certain parts of your brain that are gonna shut down. There's certain parts of your body biologically that are gonna shut down. You're not gonna be hungry. You physically are gonna be unable to think about the future, like long future. You're only thinking about what's on the next corner. In school they teach about running from the bear. Like, you running from the bear, you're not thinking about how this turn is gonna affect me 2 months from now.
Exactly. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You just like, fuck that. Whatever's over here, I'm gonna have to just deal with it, because I gotta
Yeah.
get
I know
away
the
from
bear
this
ain't over there,
motherfucker
so
over
I'ma
here.
go over here. Yeah.
You know what I'm
Yeah, I
saying?
know what that's like.
Yeah, you feel me? So you live a whole life like that, and you think about, if certain parts of your brain are turned off, you're not learning correctly. You're not able to emotionally regulate correctly. You're not able to fully intake information. Like, none of that. You're not doing it correctly. So imagine these kids. I personally remember like fearing bullets when I was like 5. I think I was about 5 years old when I first started. Was like, damn, I don't want to get shot walking outside. I need to like watch out for shit. You know?
Yeah.
Or when we would see certain cars drive slow, we'd be outside. You know, all the young kids. Like if certain cars were driving by slow,
You already know.
you know, like even if it wasn't, like everybody would hide behind something. Like that's crazy. Like when I think about that, like we would literally like, hey, that car, you know what I'm saying? You know,
Like, a car you didn't
like
even
that
notice.
Friday
Yeah,
shit. You remember that
exactly.
Friday shit
Oh,
where
yeah.
they was like they saw the van.
Drive
That was
by.
like,
Yeah.
yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
for little kids coming up during that time, like it was every day because we was outside
Yeah.
every day. So it's like we always see these, you know, you like, oh snap.
Cars that you
Walking
ain't-
to school, I
you ain't
knew. I was
noticed.
like, man, all right, at 5, 6 years old, walking around, just like, yo, that's the first time I was like, damn, I could die out here.
Yeah.
So imagine you got a kid that's going to school who has to walk through all kind of stuff, worrying about his life. He got to walk back home through that. So he's not thinking about George Washington. He not thinking about none of this stuff you talk. He thinking about, damn,
Am I gonna make it
which
home?
way I'm gonna go to the house?
Mhm.
You know, because I don't want to have to deal with that, whatever.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And that affects you your whole life.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's like,
That's how you're programmed.
yeah. So what we
you
got to
can't
do?
just turn that shit off.
Yeah, we got to teach these kids how to do that. You know what I mean? Like simple breathing techniques,
Right.
like simple stuff. Like I do it myself. You know, just breathing in and out, concentrated breathing in and out for like, you know, it could be 10, 20
How
seconds.
to calm yourself down.
Because the oxygen, when you put oxygen in your body, it automatically tells your brain you okay.
Right.
Your body talks to your brain.
Yeah, you gotta like
Yeah.
pacify the nervous system
Absolutely.
through the breath,
know.
through the breathing.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that shit is real. Breathe in for 4 seconds, hold it for 7, let it out for 8. Like the
Yeah.
4-7-8 rule. Like
Activate your
Yeah.
hypothalamus. Yeah.
Yeah, nah, and it slows everything down. Now you able to think and make the best decision
yeah,
possible.
think way more clear.
Yeah, because for the most part, you're not running from a bear. Most of your life, you're not running from a bear. You know,
Not them
sometimes you know,
camping
yeah.
days,
Well, I mean, yeah, no, that's true. But I'm saying, but like them times where, you know, because I'd ventured out. You know what I'm saying? When I was a little kid, I used to ride my bike through Gardena. I go all the way to Hawthorne, Inglewood. Like I would spend time in all them places. Like when I was hella little, I'll walk down the rail. I'll take my bike and just go down the railroad track or something for like, who knows? You know what I'm saying? And so, you know, like I would play, you know, we little kids, you know, you having fun and stuff like that. And even as adults, as teenagers, it's like, you know, we have fun in the hood. You know, it ain't all like, it ain't all crazy like all the time. You know what I'm saying? Like there's times where, you know, you having fun and you chilling and you laughing and, you know, you being normal, you
I
know?
believe that's why Cube said he made Friday, because he said all the other hood movies.
That's
that
what I
would make
love
they make
about
it
that
look like they were
movie,
in a
'cause
pit
that's
of
what-
hell. You know, he
yeah.
made Friday because, like, you know, we can laugh. And
We laugh,
happy,
we have
get
fun,
too,
you know?
You know what
Yeah.
I mean?
Best
Even all
times
bad
ever.
shit.
Hell
like,
yeah.
Yeah, well, it's a lot of good things that happen in the hood, you know,
Yeah.
that don't. And part of psychology is that we got to start recognizing the good shit too.
Yeah,
That's
the
part of
brotherhood.
healing.
Yeah, people look at gangs as like a bad thing. I look at it as like a brotherhood. Yeah, we might get into some shit sometimes, but it's like a brotherhood. You know what I'm saying? It's like your tribe.
Yeah, for
Yeah.
sure. And we're naturally as humans tribal.
Absolutely.
You know,
yeah.
me being Native American myself,
Me
you
too.
know what I'm saying? Like, I really connected with that part of myself. You know what I'm saying? I think that gangs initially started off as a good thing. You know what I'm saying?
did.
It's
you,
just,
you know this as well as I do, Taj. Community revolution and progress.
yeah, no, for sure. You know what I'm saying? You know, they all started from good spaces, you know, or just trying to belong, especially when you're separated from things, you know, you know, and you know, you got families that are separated and stuff. You want to belong to something.
Yes.
That's why, you know, like people will ask, like, you know, you got certain neighborhoods, like there's certain neighborhoods in LA that got money. You feel me? Nice houses.
Yep.
Even in Compton, you know, like, cause I stayed on the east side before I moved to the west side.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? You know, I stayed on the east side of Alondra for a long time. You know what I'm saying? And you know, them is houses, nice houses. You know, front yard, trees,
Yeah.
all that. You know, or you go to certain parts of like L.A. You know, you go to certain parts of Inglewood.
Right.
You know, it's nice. The lawns are mowed. Them $1 million houses in the hood though.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's like, then people will ask, well, if these people, some of these people come from 2-parent homes, you know, they either their parents or their grandparents got some money, this and that. Why do they still gangbang? Why do they still choose to be in the street? Feel me? And it's because it's not always about yeah, the poverty's a big thing and the money, but us as black folks and brown folks, we want to belong
Yeah.
to something. Feel me? We don't want to be isolated. No matter that people might not admit that, but that's part of our trauma. You know what I'm saying? Like we're looking for things that we're not getting as kids. You know what I'm saying? If your pops is missing, or your mama's locked up, or you know, or some of my homies' parents was dead. You know what I'm saying? So you don't know that you're missing those things, but you are, and that speaks for a lot of mental issues that people
Right.
have. They don't even know that they have them a lot of times, but
Yeah.
they're externalizing all those things. You feel me?
Yeah.
And so with us in the hood, it's like even if you come from a good parent thing and your parents got money, you still gonna choose that because you want to belong.
Especially like if it's like a part of your environment. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like where I grew up in Sunny
Yeah.
Cove. I grew up in a 2-story house, whatever, right?
Right.
But when I go outside, like you feel me? Like I can't help what my environment look like
That's
and
what
what's
it
going
is.
on. Like I was like 11 years old when I, you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying, started getting outside, getting into shit, all kind of stuff. And it's
Right.
like even though, you know, my parents, my mom especially, real authoritative, like, oh, you better not be out there smoking weed, you better not be out there with the bad people, da da da.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, okay, and I'll go outside and do all those things that she told me not to do. And it's like I don't care what she's talking about. When I go outside, this is what I'm exposed to.
Yep.
Yeah.
This right here is like, you know, the crowd that I've fallen into, like,
Yep.
and I love it here. Shit, I don't give a
Yeah.
fuck about nothing that my mom was
Yeah.
talking about. But my dad, he was more understanding. My dad is, you know, from a gang.
Right.
My dad, he just look at things from like a very different standpoint. He's very dismissive. So he was just like, shit, do what you do. Just don't get pregnant, don't go to jail. Like, I don't know what else to tell you. Like, you gonna smoke weed, make sure you get it from me because I don't know what they got up over there. Like, you feel
Right.
me? So it was just like that with like, you know, me growing up, like, you know, my neighborhood, like, it don't matter what kind of household you come from. Once you go outside, if it's some bullshit going on, you probably gonna be up in that bullshit with them. Like
Right.
that's just how it is. I think that's human nature also. To like, you know what I'm saying, like groups of people come together. Like we're supposed to be together. Like
Right,
no
for
man is
sure.
an island. Like
Yeah.
we can't survive on our own out here. Like we need community, and sometimes your community happens to be the gang outside. You go some parts, shit, white folks, that community might be the KKK or some shit. We don't fucking know. Like community is community nonetheless.
Gangs been here. Like that's not a
Yeah.
new thing. It's just
It's not.
what we got to do. Like I don't necessarily want to delete gangs. Feel me? Like my long term plan would be to just heal the people that are in these gangs. You know what I'm saying? And as you heal these people and you start, you know, everybody starts getting guided in the right direction, making better decisions with themselves. When you make better decisions with yourself, your money potential will just go up.
Absolutely.
Period. You know what I'm saying? Because
Yeah.
you're just making better decisions. So that's gonna affect the decisions you're making with your money,
Yeah.
and how you spending your money, who you spending your money with. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So all that is gonna have a ball effect, basically.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So that would be my plan for that.
I
You
think
know what I mean?
that's society's biggest fear, though, is for gangs actually to get that organized and actually. To
I
get,
think that
you
the
know what
whole
I
thing
mean?
with the gangs, I would never take gangs away. I feel like we need that, but I just want them to know who the enemy is.
Yes.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Your
That
enemy
part.
ain't your brother. You know what I'm saying? Don't get me wrong. It's like, you know, even back in the day with Native American tribes, they would go to war with each other over a horse or over some land or whatever the fuck, right? It's just human nature. But it's just certain stuff where it's like certain agendas that are being pushed on these
Absolutely.
people. You
Right.
know what I'm saying? It's a whole fucking system, and we have been the ones that have been oppressed for so many years, and we gotta take a stand. We can't just keep on letting them play Monopoly on our back. Like, we gotta stand up.
We got to take accountability for ourselves. You know, it's people,
Mm-hmm.
it's people. You know, and I ain't gonna speak too much on on this as far as like naming names and shit. But there's people within the streets that benefit off shit being fucked up.
Of course.
That part. That fact.
You get what I'm saying?
fact.
And so, you know, and they have power. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, you're dealing with that aspect of it.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? We have to decide as a people, like, what we want to do and to take accountability for ourselves.
Right.
You know what I mean? We can't pick and choose when to be like, you know, about us.
And I think that's why it's so important and, you know, essential that, you know, we have y'all because you know, I think the streets are definitely going to want somebody, you know what I mean, that they can relate to, somebody that comes from where they come from that are going to, you know what I mean, that, you know, to lead them because, you know, coming where we come from, we're very selective about who we follow and like we read people before we actually, you know what I mean? So I think that, you know, there's nobody better than both, than two of y'all to be able to, you know what I mean, at least start the healing, as you say, even if we're not gonna be able to hear to see the final result, you know what I mean. But I think just, you know what I mean, as you say, Taj, put the links on the chain, you know what I mean, as
Right.
we go along as far as we could. But Taj, one thing that I'm actually proud to say is that I've seen you in all of your eras. I think I can say that much. You know what I mean? In all of yours.
Oh yeah.
You're gonna
Yeah.
love this question. What sign are you?
I'm a Scorpio.
You're a Scorpio.
Transformation.
Yeah.
And
Constantly
you know
transforming.
I love the water.
I respect that. But the thing about it is, I think wanted to say, like, I almost was damn near able to say you was a Gemini because I seen all of his sides.
Yeah, a lot of
You
people
see
think,
that look?
Yeah, a lot of people.
I knew it was coming.
A lot of people think I'm a Gemini, but a lot of people always assume I'm a Gemini all the time.
I believe it. I
Okay.
believe it.
That's crazy.
You know what I
Like
mean?
people always assume I'm a Gemini, and you know what?
Mm-hmm.
That I can say,
Mm-hmm.
all the Geminis I know in my life are solid. You know, and they crazy, but I'm crazy. So it's like we just get along. Like
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? Like I just I know it's like when I come across a Gemini, it's like, oh, they in that mode. All right, well, I'm gonna leave them alone because I'm moody. So because I'm so moody, people think I'm a Gemini because I could be one way. Like I can bring down the whole fucking room or bring up the room.
That way.
And Geminis are like good at that.
Sure.
Yeah.
I only say that because I've seen him in his in his hood era. I've seen him in his in his music era. I've seen him in his when he was in his schools. I've seen the school era, and then of course I've seen the full on doctor. So I've seen like all of these sides. But
That's
no
amazing.
matter what era you were in, one thing you always were point blank period was a hustler. You know what I mean? You was always you was always selling
For
something
better or
or always
worse.
creating in an aspect, and now you know what I mean. You've taken on becoming a full-on psychologist, being the hood therapist and all that. But here we are sitting in your home, Projector Space LA. So you know what I mean. You've built an entire platform where you can, put your your skills to the test, and put in front of the camera. You know what I mean. And not talking to just anybody. You know what I mean. You've talked to some people. You know what I mean.
I've been blessed, man.
Point blank period. You know what I mean. Could we get into the origins of Projector Space and like how did we get here after even after everything you've already accomplished and done?
Projector was a manifestation that I had like a couple years ago. I just like the word. Anybody who's done psychology, they know about projections, or projecting, and I feel like that's what I wanted my movement to do. I wanted it to project what we call the zeitgeist of the time, meaning like, what's going on in that period, through all kind of different expressions, whether it's painting, whether it's rapping, singing, playing ball, whatever you do. Some people are lawyers, doctors, whatever your passion is, like there's an expression in that. And that's what I wanted Projector to be about. That's why I always say project yourself. Right. That's why the logo that you got on yourself right there is a projector. We call him the projector man. And we got a projector woman too. Yeah. For y'all, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, but that's the projector man, and he's looking up and his head is a projector. He's projecting himself. Right. You know what I mean? And whatever he's going through and whatever he's seeing, and for him to do that, he has to be in touch with himself somewhat, you know what I mean, to purpose, because you're going to project one way or the other. It's better to control how you're projecting stuff. So
I like that.
that's where like the name came from. Now, as far as putting it in motion, because I had it for like a year or so, putting it in motion, I was already doing, I was filming Hill and His Gangsta. I was doing like my first season, and I was working a lot with Dame Dash, you know what I mean, who's still a good friend of mine and a partner of mine. Yeah, shouts out to Dame.
Yes,
and during that time, he was here. He had like the whole other side. Yeah. And so I was filming here for a minute, and after a little while, first of all, let me rewind. I had got on national television. Yeah. I was on Growing Up Hip Hop as a therapist, which was crazy. I know, I called my mom. I was like, yo, watch TV, you're going to see me as something else, and it ain't bad. Because every time she see me, like, I'll be in the newspaper for something stupid.
For something different, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, so I was like, yo, you're going to see me on some positive stuff. She was like, oh, okay, So I was real proud about that. But So I got on national television with Dame, you know, doing some therapy. I did an intervention on you
I
know,
remember
dealt
the
with some
episode.
family issues
Yeah.
that he was having. And so our relationship started from there, and then he invited me here,
Mhm.
and we came up with the idea of healing as gangster.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? And we started filming. Now in the midst of that, you know, Dame has businesses all over the place, and he had to relocate for a while, so he wasn't gonna be here.
Right.
You know what I mean? And he didn't know what he was gonna do with the spot. You feel me? And you know, he was just like, man, I hate to have to, you know, let it go or whatever. You know what I mean? And I was just like, man, so like, I was in a meeting discussing where because I had to find another place to film Healing This Gangster. So I was like, damn, you know, and I'm like, man, I'm gonna have to start paying somebody to, you know, do this and that, and you know, so I was dealing with that issue. And in the middle of that meeting, right,
Mhm.
I don't know, it just dawned on me. I was like, man, I need to find out a way to keep that spot. And so I called Dame,
Mhm.
and I was like, yo, what's up? I said, yo, did you sell the spot, or did you get a spot to somebody or something? And he was like, nah. He was like, I gotta move out today though. And I was like, oh, word? And he was like, yeah. And I was like, well, you know, how much is it to get it? And then he told me, and he was like, but I need it like in 30 minutes. You know, and I was just like, damn, all right. So I was like, all right, give me like 20 minutes.
Mhm.
And I went and got the dough. I hustled that money up, you know what I'm saying? And, you know, a lot of it I had it, you know, saved or whatever. But, yeah, I went and got the dough. I called
You
him
were
back
able
in
to
like
keep it in
20
the family.
minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I called him back in like 20 minutes. I was like, yo, damn, I got the cash. What's up? And he was like, oh, okay, well, meet me there. And I met him. I had the cash. He was like, it's yours. And then I was just sitting in here and shit by myself. I was like, oh, shit. I was like, damn, I did it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, oh, snap. You know?
It just, it got real.
You know what's crazy about that? When I was sitting in here, I was walking around,
Mhm.
like just by myself. I was just walking back and forth through the spot. And I was just like, you know, my mind started going like, damn, what am I going to do with this place? Like, what are we going to do? And first of all, I was like, damn, I don't even know how I'm going to pay this every month. You know, so I was thinking about all that. So I walked into the back room, into one of the rooms.
Mhm.
And remember, I told you I had the idea for Projector
Right.
already. And the first thing I saw when I walked in that other room was that up there. I don't know if y'all can see that,
I see it.
but
Mhm.
it's a projector. And
Yeah,
it was
the
just
cam
sitting
right
there
on
by
top.
itself. It was because Dame had took everything he had in here.
Mhm.
Like, so it was empty. Feel me? But just
The
that
one thing, yeah.
was on an empty shelf in the other room. And I was like, you ever see that moment? It was like the light, like
Oh,
God is
yeah.
like, ding.
Yeah, the
Like,
light.
you know, like the light comes from like heaven or whatever. That's
Yeah.
how I looked in my brain anyway. And I was like, oh shit. I just took it as a sign. I was like, oh yeah,
Universe
I need to
telling you
start this
something.
now.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Mhm.
And it was just like, yo, Projector Space LA. You know?
Yeah.
And I wanted this to be a place where like people could, like I said, express themselves, you know, like us kids, you know, whoever, like come and do their thing, you know, and talk about what they want to talk about, project themselves, you know, right or wrong. You feel me? Because that's the thing. Like sometimes when you're in a therapist's office or you're the person in the chair and you're getting therapy, a lot of the things these people say, it could be right, it could be wrong, but it's important for them to just say it
Mm-hmm.
and just feel whatever they feeling. You know what I mean? Sometimes when you let it out, sometimes you'll look at it and be like, damn, I was tripping. You know, because now that you've let it out and you've talked about it, the emotion of it is not as like gripping.
Right.
You know, especially when you learn certain coping mechanisms like how to calm yourself and center yourself, and you know, you might do some mindfulness stuff, whatever, but like you'll come to a moment of clarity where you're like, oh damn, I was tripping. And that's a big part of of therapy, is reframing things.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And thinking about things differently. You feel me? And you can only do that once you process something. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
You feel me? So I wanted that to happen here. You know what I mean? So I'm just going, bro.
With
and,
that
you
being
know.
said, I have a confession for the both of y'all, and I'm hoping, you know, I can ask for forgiveness, you know.
Well,
And
you was
I'm
wishing you was a
hoping-
Libra. Is that what's going on? Just like,
What is your sign?
No,
Nigga?
I'm a Gemini.
You're a
Yeah,
Gemini
that's why I
too?
said I thought
Okay.
you was a Gemini because
for
you know
sure.
I was trying to pay you a compliment with that
Nah,
one.
no
you know.
doubt. Yeah, nah, shoot.
Go
You know,
back
some
and
good
watch
Geminis out here.
the responses, but no.
Yeah.
My confession is, you know, once upon a time, and maybe this was just me being, you know, young and you know, I actually had a very jaded outlook on therapy before I met y'all, and you know, sitting and conversing with y'all over the years is definitely, you know, opened my eyes and broadened my horizons in a lot of different ways. You know, I I didn't understand it, you know, because to me it was like didn't I didn't get where, you know, my healing would come from by speaking to someone that wouldn't know me from Adam. You know what I mean? But now that I've been able to see like how what it really takes and everything that y'all have to do and you know and dedicate yourself and sacrifice in order to get where y'all get, like I've been able to, you know, grow a much more grander appreciation, you know, for everything that y'all do. So you know what I mean. You know, I just want to attribute that to y'all, you know what I mean, that I've been able to, you know, I think that's where my healing started, you know what I mean, if y'all will. So, you know, but yeah, I just wanted to, you know, while I have y'all both here, thank y'all for that, for, you know, allowing me to, you know, just to become a little bit wiser as time goes by. You
Oh,
know,
yeah,
Right.
for
I think
sure.
but what you're saying right now is how like millions of people feel. Like
Yeah,
they didn't have that realization though. They still like fuck therapy. It's horrible.
I was
But
like that too.
I never thought about it before, honestly. But I feel like if you can go to a restaurant and tell a stranger what you want to eat off the menu, then you can go and talk to a therapist and what you got on your mind, what you got in your heart, what you got going on in your life to get like a treatment plan going, to understand yourself a little bit better, reframe your perspective
Right.
and stuff like that. Like you don't have to like know the person because a lot of times the people that we know can't help us.
They
The
don't
people I
know.
knew couldn't help me. They could barely help their
They
goddamn
can't help
selves. So
themselves.
you feel me? So it's like I had to go and seek counsel from other people, therapists and stuff like that to like understand myself better. And also me just going through college and, you know, learning about therapy, that right there helped me gain more insight and perspective on myself.
Absolutely.
But I feel like, you know, I'm like a mind, body, soul type of person. Like I'm like very holistic and stuff like that. So I feel like there's like a mental component of it. There's like a spiritual component of it as well, and like a physical component of like what you need to do to be healing. Like that's why I always incorporate, you know, the trilateral healing of the mind, body, and spirit.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
for me it was just I think it was just a maturity factor for me when I started to realize, you know, like you said, you know, I didn't know anybody personally who I can speak to, you know, and I didn't understand the process of being able to actually go and find, because not every therapist is going to fit you. I didn't
Right.
understand the process of going to meet the one that, okay, this is the one that I can at
They
least,
don't. Well, they don't even want you to know this shit.
I believe
You know,
it.
that's the. I mean, that's the problem too. You know, not only because first of all, that's part of our trauma, not getting help. We don't trust the system.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's part of the PTSD. You know what I mean? That they don't that we don't talk about. Like we don't trust the system. So it's like going to court and shit. Like go to them down. You know, we don't trust nothing.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And for good reason. You feel me? Like
Yeah.
good reason. You know. So, we have to break that. You know that stick. You know that we got to break that down. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Because people have the wrong. They have a misconception of therapy. Sometimes I think they think of therapy and they think of like Freud and
Sigmund
so
Freud.
you know somebody sitting there trying to like manipulate your brain
Pavlov
and
and
get into your
shit,
brain.
right?
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? And you know they get these pictures in their brain of what they think therapy is. You know,
Yeah.
and my first therapist, you know who my first therapist
What
was?
was that?
It's probably Tupac.
Mine too. Mine too.
You feel me? You know what I'm saying? That was therapy.
I didn't know it at the
I,
time.
you know, even to somebody that didn't know him or never seen him before, like you listen to him, it's just like, damn, he making me feel what I'm feeling. Like, damn, you know, or they'll say some, you know, him or like somebody like an Ice Cube or something,
Right.
you know, people that was like doing it when I was super young, like sometimes they'll say something. And it's like I already knew what they were saying. I had experienced it already, but it took for somebody to say it, to put it in front of me and be like, that's what it is. That's what I'm feeling. Because a lot of times there's a disconnection between, you know, what we can verbally express and what we feeling. A lot of my clients, especially, you know, people that come from this shit, like there's a disconnection between their body and their mind sometimes, you know,
Yeah.
and they don't know. Like you'll sit there and you'll ask them like, so what's up? Like what's, you know. man, I don't know. I just, or they'll sit there for a minute and try to come up with the words to describe what they feeling, and they just don't know it. You know what I'm saying? So like me listening to like rap music,
Yeah, let you know.
you
that
know, was like,
you have a
damn,
voice.
that's what I'm feeling. Damn, that's what it is. I would hear Pac say to something, and I'd be like, that's what it is.
Yep.
You know, and it made me think about that more and process. You feel me?
Yeah,
That's
I do.
therapy. That's what I'm saying.
I
See,
do.
so when people are like, okay, you know, like when my son used to listen to Triple X before he passed away.
Rest in peace.
That's therapy to these young, you know, to these youngsters. When they was listening to him, like some people are gonna look and they only gonna see the ulterior, you know, the exterior, and like, oh, that nigga looks crazy. You know what I'm saying? But he's relating, you know, or rappers like him are relating to these young kids. You know, and that's their therapy. When he's talking about being in pain and wanting to die and being suicidal, somebody's feeling like that. And so now he's put words to what these people are feeling. And I think that's what God does. God gives certain abilities to certain people, you know, to express things and articulate things
Church.
that a lot of other people are feeling and they can't necessarily say for themselves. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So anytime you listen to an R&B song, you know, for my mama, it was Marvin Gaye. That was her therapy.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like you listen to music, that's the power of music. You know what I mean? And that's why it's so powerful, because it brings out these emotions that you feel and you start processing them. Like, you know, you listen to Mary J. Blige, I'm Going Down. You know, you listen to that song, you know, females gonna be like, man, you know what? Fuck this dude.
Are you
You
kidding
know
me?
what I'm saying?
They gonna
You
sing
know?
it with.
That's what I'm
with
saying.
Her.
That's why, you know, that's what I'm saying. You know, you get songs like that and you get to processing these emotions, you know, and you be like, man, you know what? I'm tripping. You feel me? So that's therapy though.
Yeah.
So if you get the
Yes.
right therapist,
Mhm.
it should be like, because therapy is like a dance. Like, you know, a message to all the therapists out there. Like when you in it with a client, you know, to any young therapist like myself or like her, like it's a dance. You know, because I knew when I first started therapy, I was nervous because I didn't like you're concentrating on what the book say to say. You're like, damn, what the book says to. And for this kind of problem, you know, you're stuck in that. So it's like you're reading a book in your brain, but you're supposed to be paying attention to this client. Feel me? So like, it's a dance. And I would say that to somebody who's getting therapy. Like when you find the right therapist, it's gonna be a dance. They're not gonna step on your foot, you know, because it's the therapist's job to meet you where you're at, to meet your rhythm. That's why they call it a liberal art. It's a liberal art because it's a creativeness to this, what I'm doing.
Right.
You feel me? And what she's doing. I think that's why we're very inclined to do it, because we're already creative people.
Right.
Get what I'm saying?
Yeah, it
So
fits.
what we do is how she has a style of how she battle.
Mhm.
You know, you do the same thing with therapy. You know, you have a style to how you do things, and like that's why when people ask me, well, like somebody who has knowledge of psychology, you know, they'll test you sometimes. You know, this is like rap. Like some of these psychologists, like there's competition, there's haters, all that. So they'll sit there and ask you like, so what's your modality? You know, what's your, you know?
Yeah.
And I'll be like, I'm integrative. And then they'll be like, oh, damn, you said the right shit. You know, because there's certain words that you'll say to describe what you are, and they'll be like, that's fake. Because this is shit, you know what I'm saying? So I pride myself as a therapist on being able to use any modality at the moment, at a moment's notice. Sometimes I'll use them together, and for people who don't know what a modality is, it's a style of therapy. So like, what's your style, basically?
Like cognitive, behavioral.
Yeah, all that,
All that right there.
all
yeah.
that. You know, attachment. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Or you know, you can go into the more
Psychosocial
Freudian
everything.
like stuff where it's like dealing with the subconscious. You know, or some people are just positive. You know, so they're just gonna tell you positive, 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 positive. It's just self-affirming. You know, problem solution-based therapy. You know, there's
Yeah.
all kinds of different talk therapy. You know, and some people lean on a certain style. Feel me? But like, I used to play sports back in the day too, and one thing I learned like was, even as a coach, because I used to coach youth football too. I coached youth football for like 6-7 years, like just kids from the hood. Feel me? And one thing I learned is that as a coach, sometimes you got to play to your talent. Like some coaches, they have a style of how they, or a system that they use. Like in football, they'll have a system that they use, right? And they'll just apply it to the team no matter what the talent is, and then they wonder why their team be losing. Sometimes you got to evaluate your talent and put the best system that's going to work for the talent that you got. That's the same thing I do with therapy. Like everybody's different. Everybody has a unique perfect storm of things that makes their situation how it is. You get what I'm saying? So you can't have the same, like, a plan sheet to be like, all right, this is how I deal with this.
Right.
Nah, because everybody has their little idiosyncrasies and their little complexities that make them who they are. So I take pride in the fact that I can switch modalities and I can switch styles and, you know, and do my thing.
Different
you know
approach
what I'm
for,
saying?
different strokes for different folks type of thing.
You have to.
You gotta be
Yeah.
unorthodox. You can't take the same approach for every single
no.
person because the same key not gonna unlock every lock. So you gotta be able to manipulate. You know what I'm saying? Like the session to where you're able to get across to that person. Like you said, meet them where they're at.
Yeah.
See, evaluate, see what their needs are, assess all that right there, and then you figure out, okay, like what modality I'm gonna use first. Okay, boom, we doing good. Oh, they switched over. Okay, now we gotta attack with this right here. Like, yeah, it's like a
It's
dance.
like a track.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, like when you hear a track, you feel me?
Mm-hmm.
If it's a slow track, you gonna rap faster. Or you gonna rap real slow. You know, you gonna find your pocket. You gotta find your pocket.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? In the beat. You know what I'm saying? It's the same thing with this.
Gotta find the tempo.
You gotta find the tempo. You gotta find what's the BPM. All right, I'm gonna match my style to that.
Speaking of which, you have spoken to a lot of different artists, actually. You know what I mean? Like, and I don't want to say artists because not just musically, but just you. Like, I'm talking about from like all different like art forms, whether it be acting or whatever.
Yeah.
Who are some of the more, I'll just say the word interesting for now. People that you have spoken to, like who has stuck out to you as like some of the more entertaining interviews that you've done with different people.
That I've done on my show.
Yeah,
Badass.
that was my favorite one. I'll say that right there.
And rest in peace,
Yeah.
man. It's crazy because
His
me and
final
Badass are from
testimony.
like he's from Long Beach, you know, and we from like two different places. But I grew up with this dude.
Mm-hmm.
Like everywhere I was in life, he was there. Like I could be, you know, like we'll be at, you know, somewhere at a rap, like at a studio, or we see each other in the streets. Because he was like me, like he'll live in different cities. He don't care. He'll be like, yo, I'm finna post up right here and make my money. You know what I'm saying? And so I really grew up with Badass. But one thing that always impressed me about Badass was how smart he was. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Like if you sat there and had a conversation with him, like he was, rest in peace. I be forgetting he's gone sometimes. And I had his last interview.
His last testimony.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So that stuck out with me. But yeah, he was so smart. You know what I'm saying? Him and the other homie, Slip Capone from the Dog Pound.
Right.
One of some of the most, rest in peace to him.
Mm-hmm.
One of some of the most intellectually sound dudes I've ever met in my life. Straight gangsters though.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Sodi, rest in peace, man. Lil Sodi that just passed away. About a couple, maybe a month or two ago.
Yes.
You know,
that one hurt.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You know, man. I think everybody that I had on the show, I got something from them.
Mm-hmm.
You know, or I learned from them. You know, Glasses, we had a good conversation.
Yeah.
You know, me and Chuck Dizzle, Letty,
Mm-hmm.
you know, they all has. I think that's probably why I interviewed them,
Yeah.
because I knew that they would have, you know, something to say. You know, one thing about Healing is Gangsta is like, if you just coming on my show just to like promote your album or something, I'm gonna be like, nah, I don't want to talk to you, bro. Because this ain't what it is. Like
Exactly.
you can promote it after we chop it up and you give something to
Yeah.
these people.
Mm-hmm.
Then we could like, oh, you know, what's going on with your shit? You know what I'm saying? But like, what it takes to be on my show is just have a dope ass story, like
Mm-hmm.
that you know, some kind of example of how you got through something or something that you currently going through, you know, or have a perspective on something like,
Mm-hmm.
who are you? You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
A lot of artists, it's like who are they?
And that's what I loved about you. I loved about it because like you're not always looking for somebody with a name. You're just looking at somebody with a story, like you said, somebody who has
Absolutely.
something to say. You know. Yeah, and you know, I just asked because you've had some powerful people touch.
I
the
had Mo
stage.
Preem
Mm-hmm.
yesterday.
That. Yep.
You know, rest in peace, Pac.
Mm-hmm.
You feel me?
Which became one of my new favorite episodes. You know. So.
Yeah, it's like I want to shout out all of them. You know,
Mm-hmm.
but you know my memory
Yeah, with,
doesn't serve me right now. But like everybody that's been on the show has had something.
Going back to Badass, I
Yeah.
love the fact that, you know, he was on your show because that's one of the things that I had spoken to him because he came over to my city. He came and did the B-Side show interview.
Oh,
And one
okay.
of the things me and him talked about that, you know what I mean? I asked him about it and, you know, he said like that was probably one of his, you know, his favorite interviews because it was so different, you know. You had his videos playing in the
Oh
background.
yeah,
and
yeah.
all that
I
at the
played the
tribute.
videos and yeah on this screen.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
And like you said, he's always in different cities like you. Like he came just like you
Yeah.
all the way to do the B-Side show, and that's like I always appreciated y'all for that, for coming to the soil. You know
Oh
what I
no,
mean?
for sure, man. Badass was just that, man. Badass was such a genuine person, man. Like he's one of the most genuine person I really ever met in my
Yes,
life,
yeah.
dude. Badass didn't have a bad bone in his body.
And his energy was
Like,
always on 10.
Yeah, and he loved everybody.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
And I think
Rest in
your
peace,
your
man.
interview with Disaster was probably one of your
Diz,
in-depth-
yeah. Like Diz brought a whole different
Mhm.
perspective. Like what I liked about, I'm glad you brought that up because what I liked about Diz, and by the way, me and Diz talk like that all the time.
Yeah.
Like we've had like discussions that'll like change the world type
Facts.
shit. You know what I'm saying? For real.
That's why y'all had like
Yeah.
a 3 episode.
We get to chopping
three
and
edition.
shit.
Yeah. 3. Yeah.
But
segment episodes.
you know, but what I did like about Diz's interview is that he was brave enough to talk about some of the insecurities that battle rappers have.
Right.
You know what I mean? How Annie, you know, we've seen examples of this. Yeah, you've seen her like tear people up.
Yes.
Right.
Of course.
They
on a
get
regular
personal.
basis.
They get real personal and
Yes.
shit. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? That's why I get impressed to be able to do that. You know what I'm saying? But you know, they get real personal, you know, and they use real information, you know, and any little perceived weakness is gonna get tossed at you.
It is.
And it's in front of anybody. You know, we saw with Geechee with the
Yeah,
with
man.
that whole situation. You
Mhm.
know, they use this real information like about your life,
Yeah.
you know, about your wife, about your kids, about your, you know, whatever. And for him to come on a show like this,
Mhm.
where you have to open it or be open, basically. He know, you know, and I remember talking to him about that. Like, yeah, things that I'm saying right now could like be used on me. You
And
know
he
what I'm
knew it.
saying?
And he
And
knew it,
that can stop a, you know, somebody that's battle rapping from getting help or reaching out or
Yeah.
you know.
Cause
Yeah.
honestly,
And I know
like
you relate to
anything,
that
oh
big
yeah,
time.
yeah. Cause like anything that you do in your life is gonna be brought up in battle. You could be out feeding the homeless. They're gonna be like, yeah, bitch, I got a can for you. Like,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? It's gonna always be
Crazy.
whatever. It don't matter how positive you are, what you do is gonna be talked about in a negative way.
Something.
And if they know some real information about you,
It's gonna come
they
out.
gonna talk about that right there in a negative way. They got some fake information about
Yeah.
you.
They
They
still
gonna talk
use
about
it.
that in
Yeah.
a creative way, and then like sometimes like those stigmas could like stick to people. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
bitches lie on me every day if I'm battle rap, but it's like I don't let that shit bother me. Like I really don't be caring. Like baby,
Right.
you can say whatever the fuck you want to say, but you can tell lies about me, but I gotta tell the truth about you. And I always say that because
Yeah.
the truth is gonna hurt way worse than them lies you talking, bitch. Like straight up. So.
Because the real.
Yeah, but you gotta be real like vulnerable to like open up and like talk about different stuff. But I'm like an open book. Like I don't care. Like y'all bitches like, oh, you a therapist, bitch? Like all this stuff. Like yeah, bitch, I can probably help you out, bitch. You need a
Right.
treatment plan or something? Like let me diagnose this hoe.
I mean,
But-
it's probably better to just talk about all that shit anyway.
Yeah,
It's that
exactly.
way
On
they
some
can't
8
bring
Mile
it up
shit,
on you.
like-
Well, what was so crazy is that it came full circle because after that interview was released, I don't know, we watched the Pat Stay event, you know, the one that they did for
Yeah,
him,
rest in peace.
and they, you know, him and Hollahan, they did like a short, interview on stage with, with Organic talking to everybody, acknowledging, Pat's wife and everything like that. Hollahan literally went on stage and said, you know what, him and Diz, before they had that battle, they were on the phone, and Diz was actually telling Hollahan, he's been seeing a therapist,
Yeah,
telling,
for sure.
talking to him talking to
sure.
him about Hollahan and stuff. And Hollahan was like, he said, you know what, if this was 10 years ago when we were supposed to have that battle, I'd have probably had a whole round about him talking to a therapist
Yeah.
about me. You know
Yeah.
what I
My
mean?
mama.
Yeah,
And it's,
anything gonna be put into some bars, man.
Yeah,
It's
and
kinda
I just
crazy.
thought it was an interesting like dynamic to speak about. I mean, how do you maneuver that shit being a therapist?
I feel like I like compartmentalize a lot in my mind to where like when I'm in like battle rap mode, I'm RX. Like RX don't give a fuck.
Okay.
But whenever I'm not in battle rap mode, I'm like in
Yeah.
like therapist
Okay.
mode, and I'm just like.
And we
you
do
know,
that as therapists.
Yeah,
you know?
exactly. Like I'm
Yeah.
just like Miss Castillo. Like I just focus on like therapy. I know how to like do this and do that. Like, it's like when I first started battle rapping, I was working in corporate America. So I was working in corporate America in the daytime, and I'm out killing bitches at night.
Right,
you know what I
right,
mean?
yeah.
So yeah. So it's like I've always been able to like separate the two, and that works for me. I would not be able to combine the two. That would not work for me. Like I'm like a Libra, so you know we got to keep everything real balanced. So yeah. So I don't let nothing that people say to me about me really like get to me, like good or bad. Like I get not like that. I hate to be like that, but like I get compliments all day from people, like all
sure.
fucking day, right?
Sure,
but I don't let that go to my head, and I don't let the negativity go to my heart.
Yeah.
It just is what it is. It's just how somebody else feel about me. What's more important to me is how I feel about me and me knowing my truth, and that right there is what I focus on the most. Being a battle rapper, being in battle rap, and you know, and getting my motherfucking money, bitch, because I don't rap for free.
Yeah,
So
no doubt.
yeah.
I think that's encouraging. I think that should motivate like battle rappers to go get therapy. I think it probably help you be a better battle rapper.
Yeah, but help you be like a
saying?
better person overall. It'll help you be able to like really like release like your anger, because I really feel like battle rap is like an art form. It's like an aggressive art form, but nonetheless, it's art, it's expressive, and that's how I'm able to like express myself through words, because I'm not the best at like sitting down like talking about how I feel and like my experiences and stuff like that. But if I could sit down and like write it out and like process it, like I could probably like write how I feel way better than me just saying how I feel, like without writing it first. So that's why, you know, like, you know, I'm like a really good writer just in general. So that's why, you know, battle rap is very like a creative expression for me.
Right.
And I could relate to so many people through my bars, and people be hearing my bars and they be thinking that I just be rapping, but I'm like, no, bitch, this is my fucking life. Like one of my favorite bars ever is when I was battling Yoshi on URL, and I said like I lost so many people I love to the streets, and now I got attachment issues. Like that's my real fucking life. But I turn it into like a gun bar because it's URL. But that's my real fucking life. Like I'm like so detached, like emotionally. People don't know that about me. Like I'm like, I don't give a fuck about nothing. Like I have no feelings, no emotions, no nothing. But it's like that comes from me losing so many people at very young ages. You know what I'm saying, to the streets. And
I think you being able to say that though, like, you have an awareness of yourself that a lot of people don't have. So, you know, that's what I mean by like other battle rappers can like they could follow that example of knowing how to have enough confidence in yourself to when them shots come, it ain't getting you like that. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Because just when somebody say something that's like a gut punch, you know, that'll make you forget the shit you supposed to be spitting and shit.
Yeah, it could.
You know what I'm saying? I've seen that happen to people. We've all seen that happen to people. You know what I'm saying? So like, you know, get some therapy.
It'll probably help, you know,
what I'm
people
saying?
save some people from getting their jaw checked, you know what I mean, in the middle of a round or something.
For sure.
You know?
Yeah, I know. Y'all better get your rebuttal game up, because bitches say some shit, I be like, hold up, I got a rebuttal for that. So, you know, you got to get creative. It's better. You got to be creative, you know what I'm saying? But,
That'd be dope. That'd be a dope, like, thing. Like,
we may have
something
to start
to talk
that.
about
Maybe
that.
we're going to have to
like
start
mental
that
health
here.
and battle rap.
You know?
Yeah.
Actually, that
I
leads
have
me
a
into
video about that. I have a video on my YouTube channel. It's called Mental Health versus Battle Rap.
Subscribe right now, everybody.
Check that out.
A lot of people like struggle with mental health and battle rap. The people don't know that. A lot of battle rappers come to me. They be like people be really struggling. Like it is so crazy, and like I always try to tell them to just set boundaries for themselves, because I feel like a lot of battle rappers are very accessible.
Yes.
And you could just go online and just talk shit to them all day and like say stuff to them, and that shit affects people. You know what I'm saying? Like some people do care. Like me, I'm detached. I don't give a motherfucker. But other people are attached. They do care. Like they care about their image. They care about what's being said to them, and it could get real dark for them. You know what I'm saying? Like when the lights cut off.
I'll be laughing now and stuff. Like whenever I do something, or whenever I go viral, you know, like it's always somebody saying something. I'll be laughing. It's funny. If somebody say something funny, I'ma laugh. I done liked comments where they be talking shit. I'll be like, I know they look at that shit like, this nigga like the comment. I'll be like, and the reason why I do that is because it was funny, and I'm not a hater. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, they'll talk about, you know, how light I am. They'll talk about all that shit. I'll be like,
do people ever think that you like albino or something?
Yeah, sometimes. Yeah,
but you're not albino.
No, not that I know of. And and the thing
not that I know of.
Yeah, I've seen, you know, I know people that's albino. You know what I'm saying? And I don't really look like them.
Right, I know. I don't think that you do, but some people are like very ignorant though.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? And they would just say like random weird shit. Or they might think that you white.
Yeah, or most of the time they'll know that I'm black in something.
Okay.
because of my features and shit. Like, you know what I'm saying? They'll be like, oh, well, you're black and something. But, you know, I know my skin is very light. So there probably is something genetic with my melanin, probably something that happened. You know what I'm saying? My mom used to just be like, oh, you was born at midnight, so you ain't got no son. And I took that. I was like, oh, I was born at midnight.
You was
so
born
I
at
ain't-
vampire hour.
Yeah,
so.
so
But
you
most
know.
Puerto Rican people, they can either be really light or
Yeah.
really dark. Cause like you guys are like a mixed race anyway.
Yeah,
Some,
we
like,
try.
you
Yeah,
know?
I'm three. You know, I'm African, Native American, and Spanish.
Right, exactly. Some people get more of the Spaniard blood, and some
Yeah.
people like me and my family, for example, like we're mixed or whatever. Like
Yeah.
I have a sister, she's like real light skinned, and like I'm
Right.
my color. People call me like the dark one, and she's like the light one. You know what
Right,
I'm saying?
right.
And I have other family who look like you, they're very fair skin, blue eyes,
Yeah.
blonde hair,
Yeah.
but they're Mexican. But you know what I'm saying? I have other family that's darker than me, but they're Mexican. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
it just
We come in all
it's
colors.
a mixed race.
We
yeah,
co-
it's the
we
mix.
come in all colors. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
you know.
I'm not even the islander color I'm supposed to be. Shit,
nah, for
I'm way
sure.
too light. Shit.
But so, but I mean, if somebody say something like, "Fine," I'ma laugh. You know what I'm saying? Like, there was one, it was one when I was doing that interview I just did with Dame and shit.
Right.
You know, and we were both wearing shorts that day, right? You feel me? And somebody was like, "Man, it looks like they should be in wheelchairs and shit." Like, trying to cap on our legs and shit.
Right.
That shit was funny because I looked at it and I was like, "Damn, kind of does," because the way my legs was. You know, on the West Coast we be like. You know,
Yeah.
we
That's
do our
so
little
funny.
stance and
Oh
shit.
my
You know what I'm
God.
saying? I was like, that kind of does look like, you know, but that was funny. You know what I'm saying? But therapy helped me be able to do that. Like, I think people need to be more like, you know, to be able to laugh at themselves. And,
Yeah, for sure.
You know what I'm saying? Like, in the hood, it's like, we don't do that. Like,
That clip actually went viral, so I don't know why they laughing though. That clip actually is making its way around right now.
oh, no, I went, millions. I was, that was a blessing. You know what I'm saying? That
Actually, you know what I loved about
Yeah.
that clip though is actually because a lot of people would try to perceive it as gossip. Actually, I think it's more so it's more connecting to exactly what it is. It was as far as like the therapy is considered. It's really Dame just like
that's what he was going
really
through.
expressing
Yeah.
really expressing himself about how he felt about that situation, and you guys didn't turn it into like
Nah,
some
he
talk
came
show.
from a
Yeah.
came from a very genuine place. Like,
Exactly.
it was more like he was capping doing his thing. You know, no, we're not capping, but MC, to me, capping means something else. He wasn't capping. He was snapping on these dudes. You feel me? He
Exactly.
was more snapping on these dudes. You know, but you could tell he got love for them.
You're
He
right.
was just saying his truth. You know what I'm saying? And it came from a more like concerned place.
A genuine,
You know, and
yeah.
you know, he said that they were his brothers and all of that.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he probably wouldn't have talked, you know, about it in that way if it wasn't me and him.
Exactly.
Because we had that relationship. You know what I mean? And I think people saw the genuineness in it, which is why I think it went viral.
This
like
is
that.
more open conversation than anything, and I
Yeah,
think that, yeah.
and I didn't expect it to do that. You know, I woke up, they was talking about us on the Breakfast Club and all kind of stuff. I was just like, damn.
Yeah, that was super.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's a
you know what I'm
powerful
saying?
clip, yeah.
And I was just, you know, like, again, it's just a blessing.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, it's a
Yeah.
lot of good information, man. You don't got to be looking at our legs.
And
That's
no,
so
but
funny.
yeah, actually, and just in closing, so that brings me to my final question. You know what I mean? Because we're doing a lot of incredible things here at Projector Space. And this being one of them, and I definitely see a very bright future. Like where do you see us going ultimately? As time goes on, and what are you seeing us accomplishing? Let's say 5 years from now or so.
Man, 5 years from now, I want to be able to look back and just be like, man, we left a footprint.
Right.
We did something.
Mhm.
That's like my goal for everything. I just want to look back and just be like, yo, I left a footprint in that, that could help somebody. Because I feel like that's really my purpose or part of my purpose. A lot of people ask me what my purpose is or what I feel my purpose is. I just know I have a purpose. That purpose evolves as I get older. You know what I'm saying? I feel like people should evolve as you change, you go through experiences, and I feel like your purpose is the same way. There's different parts of your purpose that you got to accomplish at different times. You feel me? So when people ask me what my purpose is, a lot of times I'll be like, well, if I was to sit here and say what my purpose was, I don't think it would be complete. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Because I feel like God got a purpose for me that I don't even know all of it yet. I just know what He's telling me now.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm
Yeah.
We still
saying?
listening, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's deep. So I also, in closing, I just have a question also. If there are people out there who are struggling with, mental health, that have like a bad stigma around it, what is some advice you would give to, the people out there?
That's struggling with
Mental health
mental health
issues.
issues.
Yeah.
It's always another day. You know what I'm saying? It's always another day. You feel me? And no matter what your experiences are, there's always something that you could do to help yourself or to have somebody that's going to help you. It's nothing wrong with, you know, crying. It's nothing wrong. Just like there's nothing wrong with laughing. Sometimes some dudes want to look mean all the time. It's like, yo, smile, bro. Like, it's cool. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Or if you feel sad, like feel that, but also understand that it's another side of it. There's a happier place.
Yeah.
You
That's
feel me?
right.
And whatever you're going through, like even like you could go through it for a while. See, people, especially where we come from, people look at life as such a short thing.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? That we don't know how to get old, so we don't know how to look at and be like, you know what? Yeah, I've been going through this for 3 or 4 years, but it's only 3 or 4 years.
Right.
Like I got all this other to get through this, or or things will be different.
Shit, they running from the bear.
Yeah,
Shit, they
you
can't
know what
even
I'm
think
saying?
that long.
Yeah, so just there's a whole life that you have beyond what you just going through at that moment. You feel me? And you got to know that, like, there's people that's doing life right now that'll tell you that's never coming out of jail. That they've had to master that. They've had to master how to see down the road. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And if you're really struggling with something, talk to somebody. You know what I mean?
Through every
Like,
dark night, there's a brighter day.
talk
That's
to
right.
somebody. There's people like us. Either we could talk to you, or we could direct you to somebody or some program or something that'll help you. But really get to know yourself. That's what I would say. Like, we spend so much time, and it's because a lot of social media. We spend a lot of time looking at other people, and watching what other people are doing, and measuring. What are you doing? Like, know yourself.
You
Yep,
understand?
know
Get to know
thyself.
yourself. You know what I'm saying? There's people out there that'll tell you every little thing about their favorite rapper, what they like to eat, their hairstyle. They'll probably tell you what they shit smell like. You know what I'm saying? You feel me? That's how they we just be in everybody's business, but you're not in your business, and that's
Guessing
why
about
that a lot.
themselves?
Yeah,
I don't know.
I don't know. You know what I'm saying? So get to know yourself, process those feelings. Don't just throw them to the back. Feel them. Don't run away from them, because that's what a lot of people misconstrue that message. Don't run away from your feelings. Feel them, but also know that it's a strength for you to acknowledge that you have an issue. That means you're strong. Only like people that don't have that strength are too scared and too shook to look at themselves and say, damn, that's what it is. It takes a lot of strength to reach out and be like, yo, I need help with this.
Yeah. True.
That takes a lot of bravery, man. If you're getting help, and shouts out to the people that are getting therapy or beginning that, that journey, because it's one of the hardest things to do. That's why I say healing is gangster.
That's right.
That's a
You know what I'm
fact.
saying? Because it's the most gangster thing you could do is confront yourself. There'll be no harder thing in life for you to do. Feel me? So get to know yourself, and don't be scared to reach out, man. You got a whole life ahead of you. You know what I mean?
Yes.
sir.
Thank you so
And-
much, Taje. We need part 2 pretty soon, by the way.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And yeah, definitely. As far
Yes.
as leaving that footprint, we're taking the steps in the right direction, sir. We're walking right next to you, sir. So we want to say thank you. You know what I mean, for allowing us to utilize this platform. You know what I mean, to get the word out. You know what I mean.
Thank
put
you for
together-
having
put
me on the
everything
show,
together.
man. It's a
Yes.
blessing
Thank
to
you
be
for your
here.
time. Thank you for your knowledge. Thank you for your wisdom, your information, your story. It's like so motivational to me, and I'm sure so many other
Likewise.
people. Like, man, our parallels are so crazy, by the way. Like, I be like, oh my God.
Yo, I know we about to end the show or whatever, but people that affect me a certain way, like, I remember that forever. Like, the first day I met her, like, she had me talk. Like, I talked to her about some things that I hadn't talked about in a long time. I talked about somebody that I had lost that was very important to me. And that person had just been on my mind. I don't know, just like out the blue, they had just been on my mind. You know what I'm saying? And unfortunately, they took their life. At a certain time. Feel me? And that person was just on my mind. Like, and like she told me that like before I even said that to her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like that Native American shit kicked in.
Yeah.
And she told
That's
me,
right.
she was like, yo, by the way, you know, this person, basically to sum it up, she was like, yo, this person, you know, that you know, I see some person around you, you know what I'm saying? You know, I was like, damn, that's crazy. And I told her. And then when we knew, when I told her who it was, and we both knew this person, we both knew this, you know, it was just crazy. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So, like, she inspires me too, because
I can't even explain how elated and happy I was that y'all met. 'Cause, you know,
Yeah.
that was very, you know, I knew that.
so
that
many
was-
parallels, the music shit, everything. So it's
Everything
like
is so crazy.
I learned a lot from how, like, what she's doing, and she's gonna be we're gonna be doing some collabs soon.
Yeah.
You're gonna be seeing her on in, like, the new season of Healing is Gangster too,
Talk about it.
talking about like
Yes.
different modalities. You know what I'm
Yes.
saying? Cause she knows like all these different modalities and stuff that I'll be learning. You know what I'm saying? Stuff that I don't even know. You know, and I want her to expose some of those things. Like, she already been doing the work. She been doing it already, like on her YouTube and stuff.
Yep.
And
she
I want to
has.
be able to help her, like, get some of that awareness out of, you know, because not every intervention is for everybody.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? There's different things for different people according to their belief systems, according to their spirituality,
Right.
according to what fits them, you know, and she's an expert on that. You know what I'm saying? So I want to expose
Let
that.
them know
So
your
look out for that.
Mm-hmm. Yes, my YouTube is Pretty Reese. You know what I'm saying? Maybe we can put that up in the description box or something like
Yeah,
that.
we'll put
Yeah,
it
but
right
I'm Pretty
there.
Reese on everything. Pretty Reese. Instagram is Pretty_Reese. I talk a lot about mental health on my Instagram as well. I always do these, like, I call it a journey. I don't call it a challenge, like a 21-day journey, 30-day journey, 10-day journey, where I just teach people, you know, how to heal, teach people, you know, things to do when they're stressed out, teach people about having like a coping skills box or something. I just teach so many different things. I feel like this information is so vital and so important for Black and brown people to get to know, because we've been suppressed from this knowledge for so long, and we out here fucked up. Like, we gotta
Yeah,
do
that's
something,
crazy.
you know. So yeah, thank you guys so much for you know, highlighting
The
that.
queen has spoken, y'all. Yeah, y'all make sure y'all go subscribe now.
Y'all go
And
subscribe
I don't
to
know
that.
about y'all. I'm about to dig in on this cake.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yo, healingisgangster.com. Get you some merch.
Yeah.
Support the movement. You know what I'm saying?
And just like that,
Yeah.
we out. Death
Out.
certificate.
Squad.
West Side.